and welcome to BirdNoise, an Eagles fan podcast. I am your host, Dominic Estes. Today I will be previewing the Eagles' Sunday early afternoon matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. This is a 1 p.m. game, which the Eagles have not seen many of this year. I think we had one against the Commanders early this season. It's at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central. The Eagles have played a lot of 4 p.m. and primetime games, which has been nice for me, being out of market for the Eagles. I've been able to watch a lot of their games this season. This is our last home game of the regular season, possibly the year, depending on how the next few weeks go. What with the NFC East still up for grabs between us and Dallas, and the possibility of us being the 5 seed, us being the 2 seed. We're not really sure what it will look like, if we'll get a home game at the Link or what will happen. If Dallas loses on Saturday, the Eagles win on Sunday, we lock up the division. But if Dallas wins against Detroit today, then the Eagles will have to wait till next week to lock up the division. All right, so getting into the preview of this game, they're a good team. I don't really care what their record says. Every week, the record needs to be 0-0. It's just how it is. The Cardinals can play very well. We've seen them beat Dallas, the Steelers. They win random games. The Eagles need to make sure that they are not a random game that the Cardinals win. The Cardinals are just about ready for the offseason. This has been a really disappointing year for them. They're 3-12 currently, and they're just struggling right now. Jonathan Gannon coming in to be the head coach of the Cardinals this year. He was left a mess by Cliff Kingsbury, and it's just been rough. They've been trying to figure out, is Kyler Murray their guy? Do they need to go draft somebody? What exactly do they need to get done? They need some more pieces on offense. They cut Zach Ertz. The Eagles did not go get him, unfortunately. I was hoping they would, but that's neither here nor there. Jonathan Gannon is the head coach for the Arizona Cardinals this year, and there might be some bad blood between him and Eagles fans. He had already agreed to go to the Cardinals before the Super Bowl, which ended up getting some look into it, and the NFL investigating and making sure that the Cardinals hadn't messed around with the outcome of the Super Bowl. And after the Super Bowl, Jonathan Gannon immediately announces, I'm going to the Cardinals. Bye. And it just kind of left a bad taste in the Eagles fans' mouth. Well, it was that and how rough the last quarter of the Super Bowl went for the Eagles. Nick Sirianni has said that he expects and wants the crowd to voice their displeasure with Gannon. He said that on an Eagles talk show, and I think this will be kind of funny, seeing him walk into the Link and Eagles fans' reaction. Now, there are some key pieces on this Cardinals offense. Number one, of course, Kyler Murray. He's a good quarterback. He's a good running quarterback. This was his prove it year, but then he got hurt, and so there's like an asterisk next to it because they haven't had him a full season. He hasn't been able to play a full season with Jonathan Gannon's scheme, and so it's just a bad year for the Cardinals in general. James Conner is at running back. Very solid option at running back. He may not be leading the league in rushing or anything like that, but he is still a very solid running back. The Eagles cannot afford to overlook the Cardinals. We have had too many comeback and close wins for us to overlook any team. I mean, shoot. Eagles almost lost to the Giants last week. So we cannot afford any mishaps against the Cardinals. All of the Eagles' games this season have been close. Even when they've dominated the game, it's always felt like the Eagles are missing something. There's something there that you can't put your finger on it, but it's not the same as it was last year. And yeah, we lost both of our coordinators, so the Eagles are going to go through some growing pains. But we should be getting better as the year goes on, and it just doesn't feel like we are. But the Eagles need to make sure they are not overlooking the Cardinals. They plan for this game. They win this game, because if the Eagles want a shot at the 1 seed, then we have to win out, and we need to win against the Cardinals and against the Giants. Most important right now, though, we need to win this game. I'll be putting out a playoff picture outlook video later this week, and so I'll go over all of the circumstances for the Eagles. But right now, this is the Eagles preview, so we're gonna move on and bring up the injury report for the Cardinals and the Eagles. So for the Cardinals, Kyler Murray got put on there yesterday with an illness. He's questionable to play. That could be huge, because if he can't play tomorrow, that means Clayton Tune is starting. We saw Clayton Tune earlier this year, and it was not pretty. So this could be huge for the Eagles if they play Clayton Tune. This really is a very easily winnable game. If Kyler Murray plays, I kind of expect him to, then it's not as easy a win, but we still should be able to get this win. Owen Papo, the Cardinals linebacker, questionable to play on Sunday, and Garrett Williams, who is a cornerback for the Cardinals, is also questionable to play. For the Eagles, Darius Slay will miss his 3rd straight game with that knee injury and knee surgery that he had earlier. Landon Dickerson was a full participant in practice on Friday after injuring his thumb. Avonte Maddox, also full participant in practice on Friday. He has come off IR. He has that 21-day practice window for the Eagles to pull him back in. And I think they're saying that he will be making his return this week, but it has not yet been confirmed as to whether or not he will be playing on Sunday. Nicholas Moreau, also questionable to play in Sunday's game. Zach Cunningham, questionable to play. Those are a few key injuries. If we can get Avonte Maddox back, it would be big for the Eagles. That secondary is hurting. Getting that piece back would be huge, and so I'm really hopeful that Avonte Maddox plays. That wraps up the injury report, and now we're going on to the Eagles' flight path to victory. This is what I'm now calling the Eagles' keys to victory section of the show. Just felt like it needed a more Eagles feel to it. So on the flight path to victory, we've got the defense. They need to lock down the Cardinals' offense and Kyler Murray. Our defense has struggled this year. We need to make sure that the defense steps up and prove that the Eagles, as a team, are ready for the NFL playoffs. Because if we are not, it could be bad. And right now, the Eagles have expectations of Super Bowl because of last year, and they're kind of realizing that this team might not make the Super Bowl. And it is not making Eagles fans very happy right now. The D-line needs to make sure that they keep an eye on Kyler Murray. They get to him. They don't let him scramble around, and especially don't let him scramble for a lot of yardage on 3rd and long situations, because I have seen so many quarterbacks run on the Eagles in 3rd and long and get the first down that it has just been really, really frustrating. This will be Matt Patricia's 3rd game as defensive coordinator for us, and so I'm hoping to see some improvement in the play calling. The offense, we need to keep trending up. Okay, they looked better against the Giants. You had those drives where you were like, oh man, that's the Eagles from last year, and then they kind of vanished away. We need to make sure we keep that for the entirety of the game. This is not a great team that we are playing, so we should be able to easily dominate and win these games and these matchups. Get the run game going. I've said it once, I'll say it again. The run game will open the passing game up. And that, in turn, opens the whole field up. And we can just move on through these guys. And the Eagles really need a decisive victory for people to agree that the Eagles are at least a competitive team for the Super Bowl and in the playoffs. But I have seen so many games where the Eagles jump out to a big lead. Heck, last week, 20-3, and then we took our foot off the gas, and the Giants came flying back in, and it almost got out of hand really quickly. If you use the RPOs, get them going. Make the RPOs work. That we've used those a lot in the past, and I do think that the Eagles need to get back to that. If they get the run game going, they can get the passing game going, and then they can get the play action pass game going and throw everybody off. DeAndre Swift, use him like the dominating running back we know he is. We've seen him run through teams before for an entire game, so why can't he do it again? O-line, dominate the line of scrimmage. You got to get those. You got to win in the trenches so that we can get the run game going and we can have pass protection for Jalen Hurts. A.J. Brown, get Swole Batman back in the offense and back rolling. Make sure we get him back involved. If you can get him involved, Devontae Smith, Skinny Batman will slide by defenders before they even know what hit him. We saw that 36-yard touchdown strike against the Giants last week. Whew, that felt really good. If you have teams worried about A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith will find ways to get open. And then Dallas Goedert. He looked back to his old self last week. He was catching passes, running through guys, getting blocks done right. He is a big security blanket for Jalen Hurts. If Hurts is in trouble, find Goddard, toss him the ball, let the big man go up and grab it and outmuscle the guy. We've seen the offense kind of sputter at times and the defense have to hold up and stay and keep the Eagles in the game until the offense can get going. We need to see the offense stay going for the entire game. If we can get that going, we should have no problem winning against the Cardinals. But that's what I have for the day. Feel free to like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, fly, Eagles, fly.